So if you're totally brutally honest with yourself, what is the reason? What's the why behind the self-obsession that we have as people, behind the narcissistic tendencies that many of us carry? It takes a lot of courage to be brutally honest, to figure out and introspect what's going on underneath the surface here. What I've learned in my own life, particularly as a man, as a male, is more often than not, 9 times out of 10, it's a cover for our own feeling of inadequacy. Something may have happened in our youth, the way we were raised, some insecurity that we have deep within. We attempt to hide with an outer shell of strength, of masculinity, of authority, of control, of sort of self-obsession, and trying to impose our will on others. And it's a hard thing to, first of all, recognize that this tendency exists, and second of all, to have the courage to figure out what's going on underneath the surface. I mean, for me, I've realized when I was young, I was conditioned to believe I wasn't good enough by myself, that achievement, that success, that performance was necessary for me to earn my worth, for me to kind of win my way in the world. And that is something that we're conditioned as men in particular all the time, whether we realize it or not. So ask yourself this: why do you have such an obsession and a drive to chase success? What's the reason behind your desire to perform well? What's the real reason behind the narcissistic tendencies that we carry? For me, I realized it was really more or less a cover. And it's not saying I'm going around timid and weak and self-effacing. It's not thinking less of myself, but thinking of myself less often, I guess you could say. But it's a real challenge. It's a real problem for us in this modern day society, where we wear a mask. We wear an outer mask that we project outside to the world, and we play a role. We're unconscious role playing as these strong, independent, self-willed males who have it all figured out, and who aren't weak, who never cry, and who always get things done, and whose worth is often based on performance. So ask yourself that question: what is behind this tendency in me to want to seek success? Because more often than not, it's a cover to hide our real pain. And until and unless we uncover these subconscious patterns, they will control and run our lives. You have to understand that, first of all, it exists, and have a desire to let go of it more than anything. You don't have to overcome it or struggle or fight with it. You just have to let it go. And most of the time, it's not our fault. We haven't done these things deliberately. We haven't consciously programmed ourselves to believe that our worth is related to our performance and achievement. That's just the way our culture has programmed us. That's the way our parents and their generation and their parents' generation has programmed us. And it's just this unconscious role playing that's passed on from generation to generation to generation that perpetuates this pain. This pain that we feel is the separation from who we really are to who this unconscious role playing individual is on the outside. So it's time for us as men, it's time for us as authentic human beings to really have the courage to begin to face our pain and go deep within and discover why we feel the way we do, why we act the way we act. Thanks for watching, guys. Have an awesome day.